and we set appointments. This is what I said to, like for example, Kuya Kiko is brand new, and then I sit down with him in a coffee shop, and we will call the people in his phone. And then he called the people first, and so because it's a warm market, and he said, well, Angie, Geraldine, I just finished getting my license to save people's lives. And you are on my first list to be my first critic because you are my friend. I really need you to help me. I cannot go fully on myself to the field if I didn't do my 3 practice, and you are my first on my list to help me be my critic. Can you take that privilege or honor to be my critic? I need 20 minutes of your time. I'll be bringing my leader with me. Okay? So, did you hear?
Yeah.
Yes. You got it? Yes. And then the leader will, me as a leader, I'll say, so thank you so much, Geraldine, for giving Kuya Kiko a chance to come and show you what he does. He is so excited, and I am excited as well to come and bring him and teach him on the field because he can never go to the field, not unless he got 3 practice, and I am so happy that you are his first critic. Will you be very kind if you're gonna prepare for coffee, or either we're gonna bring a coffee? Which one is better for you? Can you prepare coffee, or we will bring a coffee, Geraldine? Then what will Geraldine, will you prepare coffee, or will we bring coffee for
I
you?
will prepare coffee and you bring muffin.
What did she just do? She confirmed the appointment that yes, we can go.
Yes.
Did I say so? Will you be home? I'm not going to ask. Meaning, she confirmed that the appointment is confirmed, and she will be preparing coffee. Okay? So you just need to watch what you say. Why it's so hard and they cancel? Well, if they cancel, they cannot cancel. They are taking the honor to be the first critic of Kuya Kiko. Is that powerful?
Yes.
Now, well, even though you are not like new, just tell them you are new, and you have a leader. Just tell them you're new. Why? Why are you considering yourself you are new? Why? Because you're still failing from closing. Would you agree with me?
Yes.
Every time that if you cannot close 100%, you're still new. Would you agree with me?
Yes.
Until you perfect it and close 100% every single appointment. Would you agree?
Yes.
So now you need to have somebody, even though you're not, it's not an SL, it's still like a partner. Okay? You don't need that, like, let's say Lee J. Lee J can say, she's not an SL, but this just partner. And then Joanne will call, and then Lee J will be next one, and then Joanne will be next. Nagsalitan kayo.
Yeah.
Do you got it?
Yes.
Okay, maski na hindi leader, but leader, you are all leaders. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yes, Tony, I know the time. They're gonna get it ready soon. I got it, honey. Thank you. Okay, so you got it?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
some of you are struggling booking appointments. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, now I need appointments. Why do I need appointments? It's not for me. You're going to make money, and not me. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do it, and let's end this weekend. Let's end this week with a bang. And I know some of you guys are doing really well. Okay? Did you learn something a little bit on this?
Yes.
Okay. Go to Superstore after this and look at all this. Tell them about this accident. Okay?
Yes.
Sounds good. And have this one. Don't give this to them, huh?
No.
Not unless you get their number.
Yes. Or an email.
You're not giving this until you get their number. And even you get their number, you don't even want to give it to them. Why? You don't want them to look at it before you're going to tell them about your business and how you do it. Okay? Sounds good? If they're not getting it from you, don't get like just like a taste. You know, this is what we do. You know? Teaser. But don't give it to them. Because you know, it's just you telling them a half story other than the full story. Okay? You are in showing business and not telling business. You need to show your business. Okay? Other than that, I'm gonna give the floor to Brent. I know this is you are.
Now I'm good to go.
If you are a good listener, Mike will buy you some nuts.
Okay.
seem to hear that.
I'm actually a great listener. I heard the word will buy lunch. I think it was. No,
And that's it for Brent.
See you later. Hey, morning, everyone. First of all, how's everybody's PMA? Ooh, man, that's good. That warmed me up. I got to do a little joke here for you. But you got to, unfortunately, I don't have a black marker. Just picture this as black, okay? Okay. That's all you got to think of. So we got a lot of snow going on outside, right? So but you got to picture this. This is a black marker. Does anybody know what this is right here? Right there? So let's say those are 3 black dots. Do you know what that is?
I said nose.
Close. Yeah, that's a close. Nose of what? That's a nose of a polar bear in a snowstorm. No. Okay.
That's the one because it's red.
Okay. Don't I get a drum roller? No, okay. Yeah.
Wow.
I used to live in Churchill. Does anybody know who here has been to Manitoba? Anybody? Okay. I won't hold that against you. Okay. Does anybody know where Churchill, Manitoba is? You ever heard of that? Hudson Bay, way up north. Anyway, I lived there for 2.5 years of my life, actually. My dad was in the military many years ago, so with the snowstorm we got going on out there right now, there would be polar bears roaming around Churchill town, and there's been a couple incidents when I lived there that if you saw the 3 black dots, you run like hell. So, okay. So I'm looking in Calgary today. I'm not going to have to worry about polar bears, I guess. So, okay. Who in this room has met me before in person? Nice. Okay. Because I think I was back here in September, and then there's a few of you. Have you been on my webinars and such? Okay.
You text me.
Text? Yeah. I am the text man. So okay. You know what? I'd love to make a lot of phone calls. There's probably about 400 people right now in the zone from Ontario to British Columbia that I look after on a weekly basis. So if I make a reach out call to everybody, I'd never sleep. Okay, so it's a lot of calls. It doesn't mean I don't care. So when I send a text and I say, if you have any questions, feel free anytime to text, phone me, email me, because my position with the company is in terms of field training and development. So I'll give you a brief overview of myself. I've been with the company for 30 plus years.
Wow.
Yeah, wow, I think I've done well. Okay. It's funny when I meet people that go 30 years, they think, okay, you should be like that. No, I look after myself. But when I joined the company, I was 21 years old when I joined. No previous sales experience whatsoever. I was a manager at a Boston Pizza restaurant. I was a sales rep for 5 months, moved into management to a sales leader position in the province of Manitoba. I was a district leader like Tony at the back there for 19 years. 10 years as a regional manager of the province of Manitoba, and the last 2.5 years with field training and development. So my position is that the zone had about 540 people. We're at about 1,400, and we're going to have over 2,500 people by the end of the year. It's exciting. It's exciting what Angie's doing. It's exciting what Tony's doing with the group in Calgary here and the growth. However, we have a lot of people coming in that don't have a lot of sales experience. Yeah. And that's what I'm here for. We have all these webinars about mindset and PMA and rah. That's great. But when you come back out of sales school, do we teach you to sell insurance in sales school? No, we don't. We just give you an overview of the products. And there's a lot of different sales techniques that I can share because the learning curve is a short amount of time. Because I always state it this way in life is that you join the company, and I'll make a line here actually, but when you join the company, let's say this is day 1, and this is 1 year out, the most important part is really the first 6 months. Because if you don't learn the business, learn some techniques or basics, what's going to happen is, and it's just like Angie said, you have to make your appointments and get out there and warm market and so on, but you're going to use a lot of that up, work some referrals, and eventually you'll go, I don't know who else to talk to now. You have to do some B2B, unannounced calls, door to door. That's the business I came from. Not a word of a lie, things have changed now to the betterment with warm market and that, but my first 10 years of my career, in terms of warm market, friends and relatives, I probably sold 2 policies. In my first 10 years. of somebody I knew. 99.999999 were people I've never met before. That was my first 10 years of the company here. So things have changed with the warm market part and all that, and that's great. But I can give you a lot of benefits on the non-warm market, you know, business-to-business calls, introductions and such. But there's that 6 months curve here that you do have to learn the business. If you don't learn the business in 6 months' time, we all got bills and expenses to pay. We're going to do something maybe part-time in that. You don't put the effort in with combined, and your career is not going to grow. So you got to learn the business in a very short amount of time. But you know, interesting part about combined is sometimes, I don't know if we think about all the benefits we have. Everybody in this room here, has everybody come from an hourly wage or a salary position? A lot of you? Okay. Many of you from commission before, or most of you from a salary job? Or hourly? Okay. I'm going to help you recruit. I'm not talking about recruiting today, but when you speak to someone about recruiting, and they ask you about the company, and I'll pick somebody in the audience. So if I asked you, and your first name was?
Ed.
Ed. Ed, if I asked you about the company, say, you know, combined sounds great, can you make any money here? What would you say to that person?
I'll think about it.
Okay, you think about it. So if I'm asking anybody in the room about combined, if you can make money, or hey, it's a commission sales position or whatever, what would you say to them? Anybody in the group?
No, I'm good.
No, but what would you say to them about what you're doing, about the training or income you're making? Do you talk about the commission structure?
All the time.
Okay. You can keep doing what you're doing, but everybody in this room comes from what? An hourly wage?
Yes.
So people are making, let's say, I don't know, it could be anywhere from $10 an hour, I guess, up to $20, $25 an hour. So, or more. Some people, you know, we recruit. But they want to better themselves in terms of an hourly wage. So someone in this room asked me, hey, what kind of money do you make at Combined Insurance? Somebody asked me the question.
$500 an hour.
I'm glad you asked. We got a great training program. We help get you licensed. We go through a sales process. As a sales rep, my first six months, I was earning about $30 an hour. And I've been in the company now for about a year, and with bonuses and that, I earn about $65 for every hour I work with the company. I never talk about commission ever. I never say the word commission, because you do get paid for your time in. And do this to motivate yourself. I used to do this to all my agents. An agent goes out and makes $600. I go, great. How many hours you work last week? Well, I put in 10 hours. Well, you made $60 an hour. Imagine if you would have worked full-time last week. Don't have to answer the question here, but did you put in 10 hours last week? Did you put in 40 hours last week? But if you average it out, you're going to average about how much you earn per week. But the point is, when you're field recruiting and you have the conversation, they're going to go back to their spouse and go, yeah, I have this great opportunity in financial services with Combined Insurance. What's the first thing the spouse asks? Is it commission? But what do you think that person's going to say after they talk to me? They're going to say, hey, they have a great training program, license and sales school, and during the process, this agent is earning about $30 an hour for his sales. And he's been here for 6 months, and he makes over $60 an hour for the time that he spent. That intrigues people. Because people are all mind conditioned on hourly wages and salary. So the thing is, what do you want to do? You want to talk about an hourly wage versus the commission part of it then. So, okay? That's probably different from what you've heard before, true?
Yeah, that's right.
Keep doing what you're doing. I'm not saying to change a single thing. My training today isn't to change things. Because if Angie has a process, or Tony does, or you hear from Combined a way, keep doing it. I just want to give you different concepts. So the concept I gave you is that when you're talking about recruiting individuals, talk about hourly wages. Because who here this week or last week had sales or sold APV in the room? Raise, okay. What did you have for sales last week? Or actually, I'm going to say earned. What did you earn last week for commissions?
Oh, last
Annualized.
money that came in?
Yeah, or from your sales last week, from the APV you sold last week.
1,000 something.
So you made $1,000. Okay. I'll use you an example. And if you take in your presentation time, seeing clients, how many hours last week did you work in terms of your business?
I had 3 clients,
Yeah.
so that's 6 hours. No, 10 hours.
10 hours? Did you go to a few meetings? Okay. So if you put in 10 hours at home, were you making any phone calls? Okay, if you had everything of time you spent with Combined last week, where would that be? 10, 20 hours?
Around, all total, maybe
Yeah.
30 hours.
Okay. So here's the point I want to make. You made $1,000 commission annualized, you put in 30 hours. 30 into 1,000 is about $35 an hour. That's how much you made last week. That's all I'd have in my mind. So when you're out seeing people that are earning $10 to $15 an hour, this is what you need to talk to them about. Don't talk to them totally about the $1,000. Oh yeah, I made $1,000 on 3 sales last week. People that have never been in commission sales, I find, have a hard time understanding that part of it. But they can relate to this part. Hey, there's a training process. Not everybody says yes, but to be honest, I put in 20 hours last week and I made $1,000, so I made about $35 an hour. But when I started, I had to learn the business. I was only making about $20 an hour. But within a couple months, I was up to $35 an hour. Hourly wages, people can relate to that then, so. Okay? Do you like that concept?
Yes.
Okay? Because have you ever heard of this before? No. Oh, okay, well that's good. At least I have something you haven't seen before. Okay, there we go. But you know what? It works very well. Okay, I'm going to take this off the board. Yeah, looking at time-wise. Okay, so I'm going to get right into a lot of things. Does everybody pretty much use their iPads in the field now? Is there anybody that carries the big blue binder?
We still do. The new
That is good. Keep the big blue binder, okay? The big blue binder, I've used that for over 30 some years, but we've gone electronically. So things have changed quite a bit, but I want to give you a lot of different key concepts that will help you with the iPad part of it. And selling really boils down to three key things. And I'm going to expand on them a little bit different from my last session I was here, but they still haven't changed. And what I mean by that is there's the mental part. You have to have a positive attitude. One thing you got to do is every presentation you go in on, don't have to answer this question, but you have to go with the mindset they're going to say yes on every single sale. If you go in with doubt, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get a no. So it doesn't matter who it is, you got to be thinking yes, yes, they're going to buy. Right down to the close. Yes, yes, yes is huge on mindset. You'll close a lot more sales. Next one is verbal. You have to know your scripts. You have to know your introduction, closes, responses, and all the scripting that combined gives you, and spend time on that. And the last one is physical. So what I'm going to be spending most of my time on this morning is number 3. Because mentally, I can't control your attitude on a daily basis. You control the way you're going to think on a daily basis, positive or negative, right? When you wake up in the morning, who decides their attitude? You do. Try and think about 2 things at one time right now. Thoughts. Can you do it? Absolutely not. I'll give you a technique. I'm going to get into these cards later, but everybody's on, hopefully, there's a bunch of PDF responses I have, but in this file, which I've gone through, and maybe Angie has, there's a bunch of motivational cards. Have you seen these motivational cards?
Yes.
Okay. Do yourself a favor. Who has a cell phone here? Everybody does. Okay, I'm going to grab your cell phone. I'm not going to phone to the Philippines. No, I'm good. Okay, I'm just going to hang on to it. You got one of those plans on there. But just think about it. Every morning, what do you do with your cell phone? Because I'm going to train you on selling, but I'm going to show you something about mind conditioning. If you do this, your mindset will be more positive every day. First thing you do is you probably look at your phone. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Who texted you? WhatsApp group? Did I get this message? The news? But you have no idea if it's going to be negative or positive. Guess what you're going to have underneath your cell phone every morning? This card, start doing it. There's a whole deck of these cards. This card, leave it on your desk or where your phone is, and your phone sits on top of it. Because the life is all about visualization. So before you look at your phone, what's the first thing you're going to see? Go the extra mile, or whatever one that makes a difference for you. There's a whole thing, you know, aim for the moon. If you miss it, you may hit a star. And then whatever happens on your phone, it might go, man, my kid's ill, my dad phoned, somebody from the bank or the snow or whatever. But you put this down with a negative thought, what are you going to see before you set your phone back down on the counter? Something positive. Does that make sense? Where do you think the second one should be? Where do you go after that in the morning?
The washroom.
You can put one in there. Put it on the mirror. Okay? I don't know if any of you are doing this now, but you know what? Put one on the mirror. Put one on the visor of your car. Put one in your wallet. And you've probably heard some of this stuff from Angie and Tony. And the thing is, it's kind of funny if you've heard it before and are not doing it. Probably makes sense because I've been here for 30 years and I'm saying that you should be doing it. These cards you can print off actually. There's a PDF file on the combined portal which I'll go through. And I think Angie and Tony are going to look at getting some made up. But you can have a deck of cards and you can put these cards all around your house and cards around your car and house to keep you motivated. So, okay? Because every day you're going to look, there's going to be something positive or negative, but then you have a positive card there then. So. Okay? Make sense? Yes. Okay. Now, let's look at some of the benefits. I'm going to take this off. And we're going to have a question and answer period. That's what I know I did with my marker, actually. Oh, there it is. I got it over here. You know, I think of things a little bit differently. I addressed your group before. We spoke about some training, some different ideas, but sometimes we take things for granted about the benefits. Right now we have, you're halfway through a week. What are some benefits of you as an independent contractor with Combined right now? What does the company offer you this week that you can achieve?
Sweetheart.
Okay, yeah, I'll put that down, there's that one. Sweetheart Week. But just think about something. Sweetheart Week, you can earn money in gift cards, right? Okay, gift cards. I'll put another one down is commissions, because all your sales, you're going to make an income off your commissions. Okay. What are some other benefits that the average person doesn't have right now this week? Okay, yeah, I like that one. Flexibility. 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 What else? Well, how about this? Right, this is last week. I don't know who qualifies still, but there's an Italy trip up.
Oh, yeah.
You do 5,000 APV, it's the last week, you get your name in a draw. So there's a trip to Italy. Okay? There's a Sweetheart Spiff Week towards what? October company trip. Okay? October company trip. What else is there? I'll expand on that. Everybody runs their own business. Do you feel you're all self-employed?
Yes.
You build your goodwill on every sale you make. Next one is residuals. Every sale you make, you get a residual. I know the person still, Rex and Betty Osmond, October 1988. They bought a sickness plan for $31.25 and they bought a sickness plan for $25.25. That's about $6 a month. Times 12, that's $72 a year. That client's still in the books. I've been getting $72 a year for 30 years. From that one client. Multiply that by all the clients I have, we're talking thousands of dollars that I get every month from all my sales. So every sale every sale you made, you've also done what? You've built up your goodwill. When you're talking, and I'm going a little bit into the recruiting part, but it's just important because maybe you've never seen it this way. everybody you're recruiting is on a salary, usually, or an hourly wage. And if they ever think about buying into a business to buy goodwill, it costs you money. If you want to buy a business, don't you have to pay for the goodwill? Here it's free. You build your goodwill every single sale you make. It's huge. What else is there? We got sweetheart incentives, we have income, flexibility, the company trip, the October one for the company trip. There's residual income, training. You have me here. It's free. Glad you showed up. There's some empty seats. Roads are bad. People make excuses. That's fine. I know you're going to get some value here today. But there's training. That's free. So when you're out talking to people about joining the business, most people talk about, yes, you sell a $70 policy times $70 or times 70%, I'll make $1,000, and they go over that. But that's commission sales. That's what steered a lot of people away from joining this business here. You have to talk about all the different things here. So every time you're out making a call, this is the reason why you're out there every day, but this will help you on the recruiting side of it too. Sweetheart Week, income, flexibility. Most people you meet out there only have this. The income they make from the hourly wage. They don't have a gift card. I spoke to a friend of mine, and he works at a Clarion Hotel in Brandon. Mid-management, his bonus is $100 for 3 months. And he looks after, and he works 60 hours a week. I don't even talk about my bonuses because it just wouldn't be fair to him. It actually wouldn't. And then the last one about all this is that who pays your expenses right now? You do. Like you pay your gas, you buy coffee, see a client, right? So let's say you spend $400 or $500 a month on expenses. You're paying for that. Who should be paying for that? Who can pay for that? Number 8, I didn't even put it in there yet. Monthly bonus. Right? You do 6,500 APV, you're going to get $400 or $500 a month in bonus. Wouldn't it be nice that every month you get to keep all your commissions, right? And your bonus pays your expenses. Do you know what I loved when I first joined the company after about a year? I was getting these residual checks about $300, $400, $500 a month. And I go, yep. People get, oh, you have to pay your expenses. No, I don't. My company pays for it. I get a check for $600 a month from all my sales. I don't pay a dime now. Really? And that person's worked at that job for 3 or 4 years. And guess what they do? They get paid the same over and over. Someone's in the oil field making $150,000 a year. What happens year to year? Starts January 1. Has he built any residuals? Does he get bonuses continue? No. You get paid from day to day. So these are all the benefits. Okay? Does this give you a different light on recruiting?
Brent, just quick question.
Any question? Yeah.
So the $6, is it 5? I'm not quite certain. Is it 5% you get residuals on your?
Residuals all vary. I don't have the numbers all in front of me. Maybe even Tony could jump on that one. But every policy you sell after the first year, there's a trailing commission off all your A&S products. Yes. Yeah. But right now, you don't see that. So the first year, you can get your $500 or $600 a month monthly bonus. And then after the first year, the residuals kick in. Okay? And the reason why I'm going through this is not about just training you today, because no one's asked me the question, but I'm kind of going through this avenue that I've been here for 30 years. Did I think I'd be with the company 30 years? No. Did I think I would, it's a long time here. But I've been married for 30 years. I got a daughter who's 25 years old. She teaches grade 5 at an American school in Kuwait City. And I got a son who's 21. Just finished 4 years degree in exercise science. He's going in as a fireman. Both would be great for combined, but they got all these other ideas they want to do now, so that's totally fine. But I went through 9 years of university with my kids, 9 years. I don't know what the total was. Maybe $230,000 I spent in that range. Do you think I paid for a dime of it? Combined paid for it. I get a residual check every month from all my sales. But back 30 years ago, never even thought about that. So Combines paid for my kids' education, paid the mortgage, pays the car payments, and all those things. That's what you're working for every day. Every day you're out there and you get 10 no's and only one yes. You're building towards all these things here. A lot of us, too much time, think on number 2. What am I getting paid next week? Right? And that mentality is this mentality, hourly and salary. You join the company for all these benefits here then, so, okay? Any questions on that?
No, but I have a question regarding your
Yeah.
children.
Yes.
Why did you not choose a job like this, a career like this?
Why did
They are also going for the salary hourly cycle.
my daughter,
Because I,
no, I'll share, actually I'll share both children very individually. My daughter's 25. She went to university for 5 years, but ever since she's been 15 years or 7 years old,
yeah.
she was a dancer. She took ballet, tap, jazz, and so on. She became a dance instructor. During the 5 years she was going to university, she actually ran a dance studio. She was started it with, she had about 50 students. She went to university in Brandon, drove an hour out of town to a small town called Hamiota and had about 50, 60 students there. They paid her on not an hourly wage, but they paid her a flat rate for the training. They gave her a car allowance, so she was a self-employed business person. She went to university full time, and her last year was kind of crazy. She made $26,000, which isn't a lot, I suppose, going full time to university. I was pretty impressed by that part of it. She likes teaching and instructing. Decided to become a teacher. She's over in Kuwait City, and last year she traveled 12 countries. She wants to travel.
Okay, yeah.
So the answer, and I'm a very upfront person. The reason why my daughter would be a perfect fit for Combine, but she's over in Kuwait, and I could list all the countries she's gone to. So she's over there making okay money, but she's traveling, and then when she comes back. My son, on the other hand, 17 years old, graduated grade 12, got a part scholarship to play university football because he was a high school quarterback. Went down to Dickinson State University, played receiver for the Dickinson Blue Hawks in the NCAA League, and did 4 years of university there, sports and such. So he's come back to Canada now, and he wants to be into search and rescue. So he wants to become a fireman, move out to BC, or move somewhere with search and rescue. That's his dream of what he wants to do then. So.
Yeah. So we just give our children their own free will to decide what will they have.
But
in their lives, right?
absolutely, but the one thing I gave them was the PMA philosophy.
Okay,
You
that's
probably know I'm a very
Yeah.
positive guy, mindset, motivation.
Yeah.
So my kids are very goal orientated, and maybe one day they'll become part of Combine. Who knows?
Definitely once
But-
they have that priority in life.
Exactly. So that's kind of where that part's
Yeah,
going.
thank you for sharing that for parents like us.
Absolutely. You know, Combine gives you a lot of flexibility too. I never missed any of my son's football games. I never missed any of my daughter's recitals. And there's all these parents working 9 to 5. I always see them come in, oh, I made the fourth quarter, or I missed this game. And I'd see these kids' faces, and their parents aren't there. Combine gives you that flexibility. It's years ago my kids were that big, but I think back to all the flexibility Combine gives you, as I listed here, but all these other items here then. So, okay. So,
Right. Sorry. Can they inherit your business though?
well, here's the beauty of Combine Insurance. Yes and no. As long as I'm active with the company, they can inherit my goodwill or what I've done with the company. But as long as I'm licensed and working with the company, we have a lot of veteran people that have been around 20, 30 years. There's a fellow in Brandon, I don't mind sharing his name. His name's Dennis Nevin. He's 65. Gets his OAS, Canada pension, whatever. Combine's paying him probably around 50, 60 grand a year in residuals.
Yeah, on top of his government
Pensions, he makes
yeah.
80, 90 grand a year. Do you know how many hours a week he works? A month?
How many?
He makes one sale a month, maybe. Company's okay with that. He looks after his accounts and so on. So what I'm trying to say is that as the time goes on, as long as you stay active and licensed, you can keep your residuals as long as you want.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. How many companies can you do that
There's
part
no
of it? then?
layoff in this kind of business.
You're not going to be laid off.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
especially here in Alberta.
Yeah. Does that give you some more tidbits on
Yeah.
recruiting?
Go ahead, yeah. You can jump on that.
Okay. Any other questions on that part?
No, I think we're.
Because I wasn't going to talk about recruiting, but we need to recruit because we need to get the 2,500 people. There's so many benefits, as everybody here as SLs and agents, and just share what the company's about to make a difference in everybody's lives out there with it. But those 10 appointments you do out there, you're going to get a bunch of no's, but the thing is that yeses are what count at the end of it then, so, okay? Okay, let's move into some tangible things. So everybody uses an iPad out there in the field, true? Okay? I'm going to put one word on the board today, because everything I'm going to train you on is going to be under physical selling. I'm going to add in a whole bunch of things for you. Okay? So whoever goes in the field now with an iPad, who here is on e-agent now using it? Okay. You take your iPad in the field to a call. What else do you bring into that call? Anything else? Do you bring in any policies? Okay. Anything else you bring in there? I'm sorry? Yeah, receipts? Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to show you some things then. Everything is electronic now. And if I don't show you, actually I'll turn it on here. Plug this in. Anybody waiting on their production ID still? Anybody? Yeah? Everybody's got that?
Production ID for your iPad. You don't have one yet.
No, I don't have that. I received the email with the ID and password. I tried it in but it doesn't work. I think I need to go to the training. Yeah.
Okay, I think this is lit up here. We'll see in a second. Because I just want to go over a few things. And yeah, I have a large iPad because I'm older. I can't see well, so I gotta.
It's
Okay.
the best iPad.
Maybe it's not open.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Okay. Wait till that kind of warms up a little bit, or I'll focus. I'll focus it. There we go. Perfect.
We can turn off the lights, I guess. Or
You know what? I'm just going to be
Alright,
explaining.
that's good.
I'm going to go over a few things on here, then I'm going to go into some other paper things. But everybody now, when they're out there and they're going through the iPad, is everybody kind of using the introduction part?
Yeah.
Are we using it on the iPad? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Is anybody using the paper copy at all? Okay. Well, let me just show you something. You're going to go through I'm going to go through this whole response with you. But then we get down to here, there's a question that says, one of the lines is, now that's the kind of company you'd want to do business with, because that's part of the response. And the client will always say yes. And then after that, you can go through the needs page here, right? Okay. Any of us using this page out there in the field? Okay. You can start using that. Because Angie kind of explained that, you're talking about all the benefits of why they should buy the insurance. This kind of goes through it all here. It's kind of listed. Hospitalization, disability if you own your own business, recovery, personal expenses, shortfalls. Do you have protection to cover all these needs? Here's where a client cannot say no to you. They're going to say they do have a need for it. But here's the whole point, is that if you're out presenting to a client on the iPad, what are you basically doing with the client? You're verbally selling and mentally selling it. But how can you engage the client more on the physical side of it? So what I recommend you do is when you're out there with the client is have a binder this big and have a few paper things with you, and I'll go through my binder I carry with me, is have a financial statement with you, because we're selling a concept right now there in the field. And when we're selling a concept, who here before sold a product or cars, or anybody sell another product before?
Yeah.
What?
I sold furniture.
Furniture. So would you say that's a physical sell because it's something the person can actually see? Right. But what do we do with the company here? We're selling a concept, right? We don't kind of say, well, here, take it for a test drive, check it out, you know? I think that's a 20 weight paper there, so, okay? And if you don't start implementing these into your sales presentation like Big Blue, you're going to miss out on a lot of these little selling points. Is that when you go through the financial statement here, you know, you kind of look at and you can go through all the pages here. You know, you say, you know, I'll tell you a little bit about the company here. You know, when you do business with a company, you want to ask yourself 3 things. One, is the company licensed? Yeah. Secondly, is the company financially strong and solvent? And last, do we pay policyholder claims? Well, this will be of particular interest to you. In 2000, or since organization, we've paid out over $24 billion in benefits. In 2016, that equated to over $1.3 million was paid out each and every working day. We paid out over $104 million in Canada. That's almost $280,000 every day. Now, if you did business with a company, isn't that the kind of company you'd want to do business with? True?
Of course.
But then at that time, you're going to continue on the iPad, but what do you want to do at that time?
Give a paper.
Hand them the paper.
Then you can browse it.
Let them hang on to something tangible now. And then at that point, you can continue doing this. You can go over their needs, but they're physically hanging on to something. Before the client is holding something, how are you selling yourself? Verbally and mentally. So when you have the iPad and you go through the financial statement, have one with you. Have the client hang on to it. What does this also give you out there to use? How do you know the client's going to say yes or no? It's a thermometer. So like I said today, I'm not here to reinvent the wheel, because everybody sells in a different way. There's different personalities and characters and concepts and so on. I've given you some generic tips that you can just add into what you're doing right now. And why it's so important as a thermometer is that if you hand this to the client and you go, now that's the kind of company, you know, if you did buy policy, you'd want to do business with. They're hanging on to something. But what if that client grabs it for about 2 seconds and they set it down quickly, like a hot potato?
That's a hint.
It's a hint what?
Yeah, that they are
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're just looking at the client and go, now that's the kind of company you'd want to do business with, true? And you say yes?
Yes. So it's
And then I continue, which way do I have a better judge of knowing if you're interested or not? Because you could be telling me whatever I want to hear. But by giving you this physical piece of paper, if they hang on to it, you know they're partially interested. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Any of you doing that out there right now? Some of you doing that?
We'll try it.
Okay. Start doing it.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about it, all you got to do is carry a little binder like this out there in the field as you go through it. After that, and there's different things, like I know there's the sizzle and different presentations you can use, but I'm sticking basically with corporate stuff here. So I just want to show you qualifications. I'll go back. Hang on. I've got to relog in. Is that when you're out there showing it, how many of you are using the needs assessment brochure out there?
Yeah.
Are we going through this out there?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'll go through a few things. But if you go through this with the client, doesn't matter if it's in a house or a coffee shop, are any of you right now still, are you? Yes? No? Okay. Because here's the whole thing, is you can download this into your iBooks. You can write on the screen, you know, you can write all kinds of stuff. I get all that.
Pencil,
Yeah, with the live pencil, and I can do some of those things here too. But you still need to have a paper copy with you to hand the client, okay? Because just think of the concept. What if I said this to you? Now, here's an HEA paper policy. And I was going through this part here with the financial statement. And what I'm trying to go through, it's the little things that make a big difference. And I said, now that's the kind of company you'd want to do business with. And I grabbed the policy and I handed it to you. How would that make you feel?
You're in a rush to sell me something.
Client half the time will go, hey, I didn't say I was going to buy anything.
Yeah.
And they're going to like set it down. But if I hand you this piece of paper showing how credible our company is, now that's the kind of company you want to do business with.
Yeah.
See how it's solely different because they're holding a piece of paper now with it? Okay. Understanding the needs. We go through all 4 questions. Who here in the room knows the first question we use? So what do you say to the client?
If you were to get sick or injured, you still receive a full paycheck.
Thank you. Yep. And I'm glad to hear the word you said. So if you were sick or injured tomorrow, you would receive a full paycheck, just not saying you would receive a paycheck. Because if you say you receive a paycheck, then the client is going to go, well, you know what, I have group benefits through work. But if you say a full paycheck, they go, not a full paycheck, I got workman's comp and group, but that only pays a portion of my earnings in that, okay? Second question we go into, you know, heaven forbid, if you're to pass away, do you have life insurance in force? Yes?
Yes.
Who here in this room has their life license? Okay, not many of you. Most people probably have a life policy. So if you want to direct them, it's totally up to you. But I always say, hey, you know, if you're sick, you know, if you're to pass away tomorrow, do you have your affairs in order? Do you have life insurance? Yes. Most people say yes. If they say no, then that's a challenge. Third question we go to: if you have a major sickness, do you have 6 to 9 months of income set aside for major sickness like cancer, stroke, or heart trouble? You know, it's tough enough to live paycheck to paycheck now. True? Okay, so that would be a concern. And last but not least, do you have any additional insurance for incidental costs, for prescriptions, or do you have any group benefits through work?
Yeah.
Great. So the 4 areas, which of the 4 areas would be the biggest concern for you and your family?
My sickness during the 6 months and so on.
So you don't have any savings, that would
Any savings.
that'd be a concern.
Yeah.
So at this point, what would you do? Go into a presentation?
Yeah.
So if I looked at you and I said, you know, my major concern is, yeah, if I had a major sickness, I don't have any savings set aside. What would you say to the client right after that?
But if we have the strategy or
can use your Visa MasterCard.
Yeah? We have a solution for you, right?
solution.
I'm going to give you a line. It's not many things to write down today, but this one I want you to write down. After you go through all that, it's so important, I'll explain the concept why. You look at the client, I want you to say sickness to me, saying, yeah, my major concern is
My major concern is sickness.
I totally agree with you. And your first name was?
Jeff.
Jeff, here it comes. Don't worry, I'm here to help. Write this down, and I'm going to expand why the psyche works on this. Don't worry, Jeff, I'm here to help. Very sincere from the heart. Don't worry, Jeff, I'm here to help. Don't worry, I'm here to help. Just think about it. You just met someone in a coffee shop at a Tim Hortons, having coffee. You're doing a presentation to a warm market, because that's where it happens half the time, right? You go through this very quickly. They just told you that they live paycheck to paycheck. They don't have a savings plan. They just told you their whole financial portfolio in 1 minute to a stranger. And then what do we do as a sales agent? We go into what? Selling mode.
Yeah, that's right.
And all you got to do is back it up a little bit and go, Jeff, don't worry, I'm here to help. Because it's about them, not you. Huge. Okay? So like I said, you're already doing things in the field now. You just got to add this one little thing into that part. Okay? Do you like that idea?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. Just checking the waters here, you know. It's hot in here. I want to make sure no one falls asleep, so okay. If you have any questions as I go through it, let me know what's going on, so yeah.
So while you're going through, you're doing this presentation, and then you give that to them, do you check it off?
You can do 2 things. If you're using your iPad and your pen, because you know you guys can do what you want, but if you got your pen and you're marking stuff off on the iPad, go for it, because I see a lot of agents are doing that. I don't know how electronic you guys are now, but you can use this all the way through and just check things off. Then you can go through, determine the needs. you know, whatever you write on here. So you can say it verbally, write on here, go through on the iPad. But the whole thing is when all that is done and they tell you what their needs are, you're still going to look at the client and go, Jeff, don't worry, I'm here to help to look after that. And I will hand that to the client too.
Oh, okay, so you hand that in after.
After you
After.
said those words.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they can look at it. So when you're in the field, all I tried to train you on so far, to be quite frank, is these two pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because right now, if you just go in the field with your iPad and just use this,
Yeah, that's
how are you selling? Mentally, verbally, but you're missing the physical contact with the client then, so,
Is this
okay?
the same situation, Brent, in a business-to-business situation?
Absolutely. I'll go over some B2B, but you got to realize is that when we're selling a concept, you can have a strong personality, weak personality, but why not have some physical things to help sell the insurance? Yes.
Do we leave that information after the whole presentation, or we take it back?
That's totally up to you. I'm going to give you, if you're at a residential call and you've written on, and you have a few, if you have a few of these and you wrote some things out, do you think you should leave it with the client?
Yes.
Where should you leave it? You're with the client. Where are you usually?
Kitchen table.
So where should you leave it?
Kitchen table.
Nope.
Oh, in the follow.
You got 3. Nope. Not the kitchen table. Where else? Thank you. Fridge. Why is the fridge important? Every fridge has what on it?
Magnet.
Yeah. So whenever I'm in a call and I have a flyer, I stick it on the fridge. I go, hey, you know what? Just so you don't lose it, put it on the fridge. And you're with a lot of friends and relatives, and it's Saturday night, they're all sitting around having coffee or playing cards or what everybody's doing. And they go, yeah, my husband started a new job. He doesn't have any benefits. Hey, guess what? There's this person here. Where you're talking to the husband, the wife's not home or whatever. Next day, husband's not feeling good or he has some chest pains. He opens the fridge, and what's staring him in his face?
His needs.
Yes.
If it doesn't go on the fridge, where does it go? Garbage, probably half the time. It might go in the bird cage, the cat litter box. I have no idea. But you stick it on the fridge. So just think of how many calls you've been at where you left a piece of paper and it's not on the fridge. How many calls back did you get? If you put it on every fridge,
Yeah.
out of 50 homes, you know how many people might phone you back? Maybe 2 or 3. But 2 or 3 might give you what? 3,000 APV. 3,000 APV at 70% is what? $2,100 for doing what? Sticking it on the fridge. Okay? So again, my training session is all about not mental or verbal, it's physical things that you can just add into what you're doing. Because you're doing all these things now.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay. This machine is really hot, by the way. Holy smokes. We're going to shut this down for now. We got enough heat going on in here, so. Okay. So,
We need to power.
yeah, we don't need to go through. Yeah. Because the iPad, you go through everything. We sell an HES product. And then from there, we have to combo it together. Because right now, how do we go from paper to electronic? Because someone buys an HEA accident plan or HES, and they buy a iTop or an AD&D. So what are we doing? How are we closing off the sale? Because one's electronic, one's paper, but how do you get the final close in? Are we writing on a sheet of paper? Are we putting it on the iPad on a piece of paper? I have no idea. What's somebody in this room doing with the iPad now when they want to buy like 4 products? Let me tell you then. Okay, here we go. Okay?
We don't.
You don't know.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you've gone through it all. You've gone through the iPad and you close off in whatever program it is, 100 or 200 a day, and it shows a premium of $70. But then you're talking about other benefits, stitches, fractures, accidental death, and then you have all those presentations in your iBooks, right? Like I didn't show you on my iPad, but all my presentations are in my iBooks, so you can go through all that. But how do you take all those prices and have a price for the client then? Do you write that on a piece of paper?
Yeah, we do a sketch or a calculation.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
a calculator sheet that we can compare options. And,
So do you give the client 2 or 3 options?
yes.
Okay.
Definitely, yeah.
So, you know, for training purposes, I like to hear from someone that I'm going to give you my technique and add a whole bunch of things in. So if there's a close and there was like 3 options, say I had 2 options, how would you close it to me? I'm the client, you're closing it off. So close off the sale. The entire cost is, so just continue.
Yeah, I think this makes sense, and I think Plan 2 is a better option for you based on your what have you said and based on the needs that we have identified.
Yeah.
So would you like me to write it for you then? And that's how we close. I will wait for the response from my client.
Perfect. Let's give him a hand. Good job. Good job. That's good. Don't change it. Do you want me to improve it?
Yeah, I want
Okay.
to learn more. Yeah.
I'll improve it for you. Tell you a funny thing. I'll make a number. When I joined the company, Mike doesn't go over my bio, but my record day is 25 new clients in a day. My record week is 52 new clients. And I did probably 10 to 15 presentations a day. That's 75 a week. That's 4. That's 300 a week. That's 1,200 a month. That is, I don't know, we're at about 13,000 presentations in a year. Over 20 years, I did over 200,000 presentations in my first 20 years. Different times, we didn't get paid as much. But things are changing now because the iPad can really streamline things. But here's the point I want to make. I used to close 1 out of 10 presentations when I started, and it's probably 1 out of 2. Now it's probably about 1 out of 4, because I'm not in the field as much, so I'm pretty rusty, to be honest. But when I was out there in selling trim, I'd close almost every second one. But after seeing so many people over and over and over again, there's only so many different personalities. You understand the psyche of how to get a yes from a person. So let's go back down to a close, and I'll go through a couple little things with you.
And Brent, this is all cold calls, right? This is not warm.
Everything I've gone through there, all those presentations, 99.99999. I'm not lying to you.
Just walking to business.
B2B. My day, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Portage and Main. I'm talking Portage and Main. I would just go door to door, place to place, business to business. I'd go to 50 farms in a day, business to business to business. You know, I'd be quick. You know, I just walk in. Hey, I'm Brent, and you must be the manager in charge. Hey, you know what? And I'll go through some door approaches, but it was like business after business after business after business. Yeah, and referrals. No warm market. So this whole warm market thing's been really new to me. It's good, but it's just really weird. So okay.
So when you go to business, what's the most popular product that they take?
And I'm going to go into the product, and I'm going to go into some door approaches very, very soon. But you're excited because I will get you talking to almost every business owner and every beat. If you go to residential doors, I'll get you in almost every door if you want. I got 2 techniques I'll share. So when we're out there in the field showing presentations, what are we doing with names? Are we having name lists put onto the iPads at all?
Nameless, what do you mean?
You know, we have a prospect list.
Do we have prospect lists?
Yeah, the prospect list. Yeah.
Okay.
You write it down.
And-
No, we don't have that.
And just going to interject quick. I saw a few different faces just kind of pulled in here. If anybody's come in and hasn't done the sign-in sheet at the back, I'd appreciate it. That would be great. There's a sign-in sheet for my session. Okay, so back to this. Does anybody have names in the field?
No, I used to have that.
Okay, but here's a thought. This business hasn't changed. Who's the founder of Combined Insurance? What did Clement Stone build insurance or the company on?
$100 box.
$100 and a dream,
In a dream, yeah.
right? You probably don't know this part, but people said that it's a numbers game to sell insurance. So he had somebody in Chicago take a policy roll and hang it around their neck on the street corner of Chicago, insurance policies with Combined, and said, you know, ask me about insurance. I don't know the exact words. He sold insurance because there's thousands of people at that street corner. Somebody actually came up. A few people did, but they sold insurance. So what Mr. Stone said that it's a volumes game. It hasn't changed. You're going to see a lot of people to sell insurance. But the second thing he said, on the top of that, they had a list of clients' names. People buy from approval of others. So when someone said, hey, ask me about insurance, that person there said, hey, I'm glad you asked. Here's some of the clients that are insured with us. And he flipped through about 30 or 40 names that the person didn't know, but they buy it because of the approval of the other names that they see there. Start doing this in the field. Because if I'm at that kitchen table, I'm going through the client's book like this. You know, we have a tremendous number of people that carry our policy. I'll go through the business cards in a minute. But you know, we have Gerald Gabbs, we got so-and-so, but we got Kathy, Suski, Judy, Ken Takvam. And you know, Jeff, we have a spot for you and your wife, of course.
Oh, nice.
We got Zachary Penner, Storm Petura. And I keep going through names. And I go, you know what, Jeff, we got a lot of families that take, here's the key word, take the family plan. We got the whole Buckley family. The whole Buckley family takes the family plan. Spot for Tyler Winters. Oh, and you know, of course, we have a spot for your family. Take, for example, we have. Half the time the client's going to go, what's the family plan? I'm glad you asked. Since I've started, have I asked you to buy a policy?
No.
Who's been in control the whole time? But who really feels like they are in control?
The
Yeah.
client.
And Angie said it when, you know, it's kind of funny. I was listening to Angie's introduction talking about, you know, recruiting and motivation and, you know, getting a warm market call list. But she mentioned something there about the client feels like they have to be in control. That's what I'm doing here. And you're asking me all the questions.
Yeah.
What's the family plan? I'm really big on psychology of selling. So when you see this page, what does it show you? There's no
Names.
room for you.
Yeah.
How can you buy a policy? When I flip it over here, how does that make you feel? There's a spot for you. People that are OCD and that want to finish things in life, what do they want to do? They want to finish it.
Yeah.
You can verbally talk to people, but one thing, I guess I never really shared it because I don't share it too often because it's kind of interesting, but I have my second level heavy duty mechanics at age 19. I was going to be an aircraft technician and move down to California. That was my goal. Nothing to do with sales whatsoever. You might notice the odd time I have a slight stutter the odd time.
Yeah.
When I started, I stuttered terribly. So here's an insurance guy stuttering, selling insurance. But they always heard it twice, so I sold twice as much. But seriously, I had a terrible stutter, and I've overcome it. Just right there, overcome it. But it's kind of funny in life, you know, you do the things you're uncomfortable doing out there. It will make you succeed. But kind of where I'm going with that, back to this, if I had a raffle book, no one's bought a ticket, there's 3 prizes, you're going to question what the prizes are. I'm sure you will.
Of course, definitely I asked.
If 15 tickets have names on it, and there's 5 tickets left not sold,
I'd rather-
you're going to buy it because people bought it, and scarcity because there's only 5
There's only
left.
5 left, yeah. That's
Same
our
deal,
chances.
same deal. People have bought it, scarcity that there's not room to finish it in them. But here's the whole thing. When you're going through the presentation on your iPad, where do you think this book is? Because I don't have a table, but it's sitting right here on the table like that, side by side,
Side by side.
and I'm going through, and when I'm going through it all the time, specifically, is I'm going through it on my iPad here, and I just trained you on something very important. My mic falls off. Did I stop talking?
No.
Why did I do that?
Not to distract
I stop
the
talking,
momentum.
it gives the prospect time to do what? Think.
Thinking.
You don't want them to do that. It's the only time in life where they say talking isn't too much, just ramble on. Don't let them think. Don't let them think, okay? There's lots of time to think at the end, but during the presentation, just keep on talking all the way through. But no matter what you're doing with the iPad, you're showing all this here. They're going, should I buy the policy? Should I not buy the policy? And what does the client see as a visual? Names. And live apps. Every app you sell, please take a photocopy of it. If it's an HEA paper app, if you're doing electronic or whatever it is, have some live apps in here. So you can show people that have purchased the insurance. And my book is open the whole time through here. And I always leave it on this page. There's a person by the name of Justin Taylor. And I'm going to show you cool clothes. How would you like to see something how Justin sells insurance? I'll show you something. You just did your close, which was great. But what if you'd done this? The price was, say, I'll just use generic numbers, 40, 70, 110 bucks. There's 3 plans. Your close you did with me was all verbal, mental, you're pretty positive.
Yeah.
I want you to name one physical thing you did on your close.
I showed him the brochure of the plans, the
Yeah.
3 plans.
Yeah.
And
And you gave me some good eye contact, so give yourself some credit. No, you did good. Okay? You know, eye contact is so important, you know. When did they show up? There's no one there. I'm just using an example.
breaking the ice.
But I'm just showing you an example. Magnetic and compelling force of the eyes. Where you look, the client looks like that.
Yeah, okay.
When I'm out field training someone, do you know the best thing I do? We're on a street corner, there's 20 people on a street corner waiting for the lights. I go, look at that, unbelievable.
Everyone will
Everybody's
look at
looking, and then I'm with the trainee and we walk away, go, look at those crazy people. But it works out there that you got to have eye contact. Where you are looking, the client's going to look. So we get down to the close, and just for training, you had 2 plans. Give me your close again with those 2, then I'm going to go through my close.
Okay, Brent, so this is what we have so far. We come up with, I think the plan 2 is the best option that we have based on your identified needs. Would you like me to write it for you then?
Sure. Let's give him a hand. I said yes.
Yeah.
Okay? I wish they were all easy like that, eh?
Yeah, I hope.
I would have a yacht about that big probably.
But it's not.
Okay. Who wants to learn some things to add to that?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, everyone.
Like, is everybody happy with that close? It's a good close.
Yeah, it's a good close, but
And you'll sell insurance, because that was my close. When I started, I sucked. I would say, you know, of the plans we have, there's this, you know, why don't you just buy some insurance? That was my close. It just sucked.
yeah.
But over time, I've added a lot of things in. So I'm going to show you some things here. So we go through the close, same sort of thing. You know, after reviewing the programs we have, and remember, I'm going through this on a piece of paper or on the iPad, but my book is in front of the client. So think of the whole scenario that's going on. So of the 3 programs we have, it's only 40 on plan 1, 70 under plan 2. Or if you wish to, you can do as most people do, kind of like Justin did, and take out the full plan for 110. So the 3 plans we have, which do you prefer?
You're pointing at that he will choose. Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, I'm going to cut this whole close into lots of little pieces. Key phrase, write down this phrase. Or, and I'm going to go slow with this because it will make you money out there. Or if you wish to, you can do as most people do. Or if you wish to, you can do as most people do, such as, and what did I do? I tapped this, and I'll explain why it's important. Or if you wish to, you can do as most people do, such as Justin, and take out the full plan for only 110. So of the 3 plans we have, which do you prefer? And I closed on this one. I went for the biggest, and I closed one plan down. The whole presentation I'm going through, and he's going, great, that covers me for stitches. Maybe I should buy that. And then something in his brain goes, maybe I shouldn't. So every time he's thinking yes, what's he looking at? Justin. So the moment that client's going to go yes or no, he's going, you know, or you can do as most people, take out the full plan like Justin here. And I close, and he's going, no, and in his head he's going, I'm not going to buy it, but yeah, I'll buy it. Why did he buy it, you think now? Because his subconscious mind has told him 30 times through the presentation, Jeff, you stupid, I'll say it, idiot, Justin's bought it. That's subliminal and physical selling insurance. But if you don't do that, you're just verbally selling. Does it cost you any money to do this to every presentation? Does that make sense to you?
That makes sense.
Because you're going to do what you're doing out there now, but having a live application of a person here too, okay? And before you show names and all of that, make sure you're telling a client, you know, Jeff, of course we ask for permission to show names for marketing purposes. You know, if you don't want your name shown, you don't have to, but all these clients here see the value plus the free advertising. So you kind of clear the deck part of it then, so, okay? So the entire cost is, and then what did I do there? I looked down and then I closed it off. So I'm going to go back to your close and you close off and say of the two plans, and I'm going to say I'm going to agree on one. So I want you to give me the close again.
Oh, yeah, I see it again.
Yeah.
So Brent, we come up with these two plans, and I think plan 2 is the best option we have based on your identified needs. Would you like me to write it for you then?
Yeah, I think that'll be fine, sure.
Okay, so we'll start the paperwork now.
No, I just want you to continue on.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, what would you say after that?
Yeah, so because normally I will say
Yeah.
we can, if you have chosen the plan 2,
Yep, yes,
we can start the paperwork then.
okay,
I think that's it. And then we start
Great.
jotting down names and
okay,
details.
good. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, everybody has a good close. I'm just giving you some more polish. You said okay. Change the word to thank you. So the moment I close off, so the 3 plans we have, Jeff, which of the 3 would best suit your needs and your family's needs?
Yeah, plan 2.
Thank you. Hey, you know what, man, that snow's still coming down. Have you heard the forecast of how much snow we're going to have? Like, do you think it's going to stop soon in that?
Yeah.
You know? Blah, blah, blah. I change the subject and then I say, you know, Jeff, just a few things we've got to ask. Most important part, heaven forbid you have a claim. We want to make sure the claim check's mailed to the right address. Does your mail go to your box number or to your house address? And they give me, say it's your house address.
Yeah, same now.
Okay, 9928. And you know what? Do you have a copy of your driver's license? That way I don't have to ask you all these questions.
Okay, yeah, here it is. Yeah, I have it.
See how that's very
Yeah,
soft?
Smooth.
But after the client said yes, who's the sale about? Them. Heaven forbid, Jeff, if you ever had a claim, such as our policyholders here, we want to make sure the claim check's mailed to the right address.
Yes.
Let's just think of the things I did here. There's actually a big structure here. Does this make sense? I could put 2 things on the ladder here, but I'll put about 7 things I did on the close. I call this the stress test. This is 100% stress, yes or no?
Yes.
And you want to get the client down to relaxation. So what did I do? I closed, the client said yes. What's the first thing I did? Very sincere, thank you.
Thank you.
And you can do this wherever it is. It could be in the mall. You could be at a Tim Hortons. It doesn't matter where you're doing this. After that, what did I do? Change the subject. Because if I don't change the subject, what's the client thinking in their head? I just bought insurance. I'm spending $60 a month. That's the first thought in their head. So what do I want to do right away? Put something else in their head. Because that will take the stress level down a little bit more. They're still going to think about buying it, but I've alleviated a little bit more. And then after that, Jeff goes, you know, we got some paperwork to fill out or something like that. But instead of me being very direct or say, do you have a copy of your driver's license for all the information? I said, you know, heaven forbid, Jeff, if you ever have a claim, we want to make sure the claim check's mailed to the right address. Does your mail go to a box number or does it go to your residence?
My residence.
Yeah. Ask where
Where's the
address.
Yeah.
Then after that, what did I do? You know, instead of me asking a lot of questions, do you have a copy of your driver's license? That way I don't have to ask you a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah, I do have this.
Yeah. Geez, did you catch the game last night? I think the Oilers won or something. Then I changed the subject again, and we're talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Is that a different process than some of you are doing at all?
Yes, definitely.
You're not the salesperson, you're the prospect. Is this the way you'd want to be treated on a close? I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong, but if you're as a prospect, do you feel more relaxed this way or with what you're doing out there? You just got to add a couple points in, because you're all closing sales now. But here's the thing is when we're a new agent and someone says yes, what are we? Nervous.
Yeah.
They said yes. Oh, well, yeah, I just got to ask some questions.
Yeah.
How much ABV?
Been there before.
No,
I'm still there.
Thinking how many paperwork
Yeah, I'm
I
going, oh, I
got.
got to put some more deodorant on, you know? You're like, oh, I got the paperwork, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then you start filling stuff out, and then within about 10 seconds, the person goes, you know what, I want to think about it. Can you leave me your business card?
Yeah.
Has that ever happened?
He does.
It happened to me 1,000 times.
Yes.
Until I did some of this stuff. This was the biggest one.
Thank you.
Who likes to be thanked? I love thank you. I love emails where people thank me. I say, thank you. You just gave me something and vice versa. You say thanks. It solidifies the sale. You got to go through all these different steps then. So, okay? Questions on that? Good stuff?
Definitely. Yes.
Did they teach you this in sales school?
No.
No. That's why I'm here. So, okay. Okay. So this binder book, guys, you can get a binder book. I have the you can $10 at Staples. This is where it's from. It's combined blue. Buy this. It's great. Okay. It's got a little folder thing here. It's cool. Understand your needs is in here. And wow, what Angie just gave out, it's in here too. How about that, eh? Great minds think alike. So anyway, I got those two things in there. Then after that, we have the names. And if you're doing names electronically, because some of us make stubbing lists electronically now for the iPad, you can still do that. But always leave a spot with 2 or 3 names missing because people like to finish things off. Who here likes to finish off a list? Who likes to finish a puzzle? We're programmed that way. If there's something left undone, we just like to finish that last little thing, right? So that helps on the mindset. Then after that, we have some live applications in your book. And I have some pieces of paper. Actually, I can hand some out. You guys can have them. I don't know what your team does out here, but you guys can do what you want. But I will give you some of these. I'll just give some to this side. You can have those. Very generic. It's nothing. It's not like a rocket scientist page. But this is all I use to close off sales. But I'm going to give you some information. Because in sales, I'm not trying to change what Tony or Angie do in the district. You can continue doing what you want to do. There's a thing called the house.
Yeah.
There's a thing like this, and you write stuff here and here and here, and there's like all this paper and words all over the place. Think about it. Put yourself in the prospect's point of view. You're buying a car. You're buying furniture. Furniture, right? Do you list all the items of every piece of furniture they're buying and the price? Or you just want to get down 2 different prices on the bottom of that page so they can focus on it. That's what this page is good for. Because you can just put down a little bit of the benefits and the price. So if they're buying 3 different plans or whatever it is, you can put the client's name on there, write out the information of what the policy does and the pricing, close it off. And if you make photocopies of this and they don't buy it, you can still stick this on the fridge and put it here. I'll give you advice. Some people can leave things with the client if you want. It's a piece of paper. It's totally up to you. Just don't sign the bottom of it because you can make errors and say, you know what, here's the cost and here's the example, but you know what, I can leave this with you, but I'll be honest, hopefully I didn't make any errors on here, but you know what, here's a sheet of paper, so you can use this out there in the field then, so, okay? Are a lot of you just using like a notebook at the moment? Yeah? Okay, you can start using some of these pieces of paper and such.
Separate price.
Yes, so the thing is, I'll show you on here. So basically you have that piece of paper there. Basically you have a box like this. And I do believe we have the hospital, disability, accident, sickness. Yeah, so we have accident, sickness, and we got hospital, and then we have disability down here, okay? So you can use it to show whatever benefits you want. So if they're buying an HEA plan for $300 a day, you can go $300 a day benefits or $9,000 a month, whatever you want to put in here. You can do the same thing if you're showing them a full plan. You're going through the disability needs. Say it's $1,000 a month disability. You can throw that in here of what they're purchasing. And then you can have a price. And then you can put another one down there and have 2 different programs. But you can use that page to kind of flow it through and just show what their benefits are. The main thing is at the end, you're going to have 40, 70, 110. You're still going to have the prices on the bottom, and you can still close on the bottom of the page. So it's just to have something to write down on. So, okay. I'd have to spend at least an hour and a half to actually go through a whole process on there because, you know, it takes time. But just whatever you're writing down on in a notebook right now, just looks a little more professional to have something like it there. So, okay. So, who made a sale last week? Who? Yeah. I'll use you an example. Use. So when you're done with the prospect and you're leaving that call, and this is your folder, what do you say to the client when you leave? You're kind of done the sale, and you just hand it to the client. Is there anything you say at the end of the sale?
Thank you so much for choosing to cover yourself today.
Yeah.
I'm always here to help you whenever you need.
Okay, perfect. And then you hand it to the client then. Okay, great. A lot of your sales, you sell an HEA, HES product or whatever it is, and they want to buy something else, but they decide not to at that time. Do you ever leave the client something?
My number.
Your phone number?
Yes.
Business card? Anything else? You're getting close now. Brochure. Who leaves a brochure? Here's the deal. You just bought an HEA, HES program. I've gone through the whole thing. But here's a plan, a disability brochure. Who plans to go back and see their clients within 6 months' time for the new face bonus? Hopefully we all raise our hands up for that one, okay? But here's what you want to do. You've gone through everything. Yeah. Here's the plan for you and your wife, the family plan, HES and that. That'll be like $75. But as you mentioned, you do have a need for disability, but hey, at this time, just doesn't fit into the budget. But you know, when I do come back, you know, in 6 months' time, Jeff, you know, the 2 programs we have, one's $1,000 and one's $1,500. One's $35, one's $53. Of the 2 programs, if I, you know, when I did come back and it fits into your budget, which of the 2 would you probably take out when I came back, if you did?
I might take the 35 for the next
30,
time.
yeah, and that pays you $1,000 bit benefits. I kind of totally agree with you. You know, Jeff, it's funny. I can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. How am I going to remember in 6 months' time, Jeff?
Yeah.
Can you, Jeff?
Yeah.
Can you just put your initials beside it?
Yeah.
And then I have the client.
Yeah, that's right.
Then I have the client put their initials beside it,
Yeah.
and then it goes back into the folder. And then when I come back in 6 months' time, half to 2/3 of the clients will find their folder. They will pull it out, and you'll review what they spoke about, and the client has already put their initials beside the plan they're going to buy in 6 months' time. And that shows obligation on their part. Question?
What do you say to your clients to review it? Like, let's say after 3 months or 4 months, before the 6 months, so that you can still have the 70%. What do you tell them when you call them back?
Well, a lot of times I try and just go see them in person unannounced, and then if not, if it's a callback, you want to phone them up, I ring up the phone, I go, boo, 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 pick up the phone, go, hey.
Hello, Brent.
Hey, hey, Jeff, it's Brent here. How's things going?
Everything's going great.
Hey, I'm just doing a follow-up call. You know, I'm just glad to see things are going fine. Everything's good at work. A couple minutes of small talk with the client. Said, you know what? I just checking to see if you had any questions about your policy at all.
I think so.
Yeah. You know, I said I'd check up on you within 6 months. You know, to make sure everything's in force. One thing that's changed. We've actually changed our claims process. And like I said, the worst thing is you to ever have a claim. So you know what? I just want to stop by, make sure you got all the right information. I'm going to be in your neighborhood actually tomorrow. Is morning or afternoon work out best?
Okay, sure. You can go on after that.
Perfect.
Yeah, you can do that.
That's it. But it goes back to the original sale. When I close the sale off, what did I say to the client? Heaven forbid, Jeff, if you ever have a claim, I want to make sure the claim check's mailed to the right address. People remember that. And then when I phone back and say, hey, we got a new claims process, I want to make sure you have all the right information, this guy cares about me. Am I coming to sell him insurance? No. I come back, I review everything, I have a claim form, I just go over it, make sure it's all current, then I go into selling mode. That's it.
So how do you transition after you've gone through
The claims? Then at that time I go, you know, Jeff, let me just review quickly what you took out 6 months ago. And do you remember we were talking about that other disability plan?
Oh, yeah.
You're still working at the same place? So basically your needs are the same, like you haven't changed any benefits or that. Well, let's look at that program. You kind of agreed on this, that would be the best here because I saw your initials. Let me just show you what that does here. I got practically all the information here, so it comes out on the 20th of the month. So, you know, would that plan be fine? Yes?
Yes.
That's it? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Time-wise, I'm going to cram a whole bunch of things in here.
You have until 12:30, right?
I do. Oh, there we go.
Or 1, that's what you're gonna do right
12:30? I can go to, we'll go to 12:30 today.
Brent, can we go over some business to business?
Yeah, we're going to go there. Everybody wants business to business. Hey, Morgan, how are you doing? There we go. Heard that voice. That's nice. Doing awesome. So, who here has challenges with responses? Anybody? If we had a program now and we go over objections, if I give anybody an objection,
Yes.
could you give me an answer for it? How about, hey, you know what, if you find it difficult to afford a few dollars today while you're working in good health, what if you're hurt and hospitalized tomorrow? Could you afford $2,000 or $3,000 for extra expenses? And you know, all these policyholders here, they feel it's better to have it and not need it, to need it and not have it, especially at this low cost. I can wait, you can wait, but let's be honest. Accident and sickness don't wait. True? Anybody else have an objection? Who else? Anyone else?
With my husband.
Hey, you know what? I'm sure your husband trusts you in small money matters such as this. Because every month, I'm just going to role play, you're the wife?
Yeah.
And you have kids, right? Hasn't changed. As far as I know, the tax credit check comes to the wife every month, right?
Yes.
It does.
That's the child care.
Or the child care check. I say, hey, I'm sure your husband trusts you in small. I'll show you a tip of how I have zero cancellation. I've made thousands of dollars in the company. I'm sure your husband trusts you in small money matters such as this. You know, I'm sure you go out and get all the groceries. He never questions that probably. As long as his beer's in the fridge, right? You know, okay, you know. But you know, the thing is, the entire cost for your entire family is $40 or $50 a month. It costs you absolutely free. Why not have the government pay for it? Government's always taking all our money and taxes and that. What a lot of our clients do, especially the family plans, they set it up on the 24th of the month when your child tax credit check comes. We'll just take $40 off your child tax credit, cost you nothing. That Justin Trudeau, he's paying for it now.
Yeah.
Honest. That's what I do out there. And the check comes in and then it's paid for, so, okay. Any other objection? You ever get group insurance? I have a group insurance?
Yes.
Does that ever happen?
Yes.
Somebody say they have group insurance.
And then have the
Someone asked me, oh, I have group insurance. Hey, I'm glad to hear it. Do you recall offhand what company you're with?
Sun Life.
Sun Life is a wonderful company. However, if Sun Life came to you tomorrow and said for only $25 every 2 weeks off your paycheck, we would cover up or make up for what your group plan doesn't do, you'd probably add it on to your benefits at work, true? Good news, I can do that today. The bad news, that's not what group plans do. And that's why all these clients here carry this as a supplementary insurance. So for as little as $2 a day, we can make up for what Sun Life doesn't do. Does that sound fine?
But the group insurance company shares with that one. So I'm paying lesser there in a group insurance than getting from you. What is the answer?
Oh, and that's the beauty of here is that, you know, what you're purchasing here is a loss of time policy, not a loss of wages. Very good question. Because if you're in a car accident tomorrow, your car insurance would pay you a disability benefit. They're going to deduct that money off your group insurance because it's called a single payer. It's a loss of wage policy. We pay loss of time. So no matter what happens to you on the job or off, we're going to pay in addition to what your group plan doesn't pay you. And if your employer came to you tomorrow and said for only $15 every 2 weeks, we would make up for what you would lose, you'd probably add it on to your benefits, true? Does that
That's good.
Does that answer that? And the reason why I'm going through that response, it's right here. It's on the company portal. And I could sit here for half an hour, give me any objection you want, but I'm going to make a point. Remember I told you my market when I started was what? Door-to-door sales? It was tough. A lot of no's. It wasn't warm people. What do you want? What are you selling? You know? I had to know my stuff. So if you want to get good in the business, you have to know your responses. And I'll give you some techniques of how to use it then. Any other objections? Yeah, fire away.
I really like this family plan for $136, but I don't have my money right now, and it's coming. I'm going to have my money in 2 weeks.
Hey, you know what? Money is the last thing we ask for. Think about it. I'm going to answer your question, but there's a 5-point response system. Give a open the person's mind verbally, give a logical explanation, make a positive statement, ask an affirmative question, and then close and stay closed. It's in this file here. But I'll answer your question there. I said, money's the last thing we ask for, and you know the good news about it, it's not any new money you would be spending anyway. It's really just your discretionary money. Think about it. On a day-to-day basis, you probably buy that Tim Hortons double-double or a pack of gum. We spend $5 a day before we even think about it. That is $150 a month. That's $1,800 a year. You have to earn $2,500 to pay for your coffee every single year. So wouldn't you rather look after your family than buy that one Tim Hortons coffee?
No, actually signing it up. Like I really want it, but I don't have money right now. Can you come back in 2 weeks?
How large is the plan?
Say $150 plan.
Hey, you know what? I'd be happy to come back in about 2 or 3 weeks. But you know what? Here's just a thought, and here's what most of our clients here do. The entire cost, you know, for yourself would be $28. We'll get you started on the small plan because you're the main bread earner. If something happened to you now till then, what would you rather have? Would you rather have this policy, or would you rather have my business card?
Right away.
I'm not done yet. I'm not a fortune teller. The guy above works in check this one out. The guy up there works in mysterious ways. Why am I here today? I don't know either.
That's right. That's good.
The guy above, I always say the guy because everybody has a different religions, works in mysterious ways. You know how many religious people go, maybe it's a sign he's here.
Yeah. That's right.
Do you think I've dealt with a lot of people saying the Lord looks after me? God looks after me. I go, hey, that's great. I'm glad the Lord looks after a lot of people out there, but the Lord does work in mysterious ways. I don't know why I'm here at all today either. And then they have to look at me and go, I don't want to buy it. That's perfectly fine, but think about it anyway. I'll see you later. Bye. And then I leave. Here's my card. People phone me back. Yeah, I think I'll buy it now because lightning will come down and hit me. I don't know. But did I have an answer for you?
Yes.
Did I give you the 5 steps? Money. First thing you said, oh, I can't afford, or you said, yeah, I can't pay for it. What did I say right away? Money's the last thing we ask for. It is. What's the last thing we do at a sale? Ask for the money. Anybody else have an objection?
Just plain not interested.
You can go with the basic combined response. By the way, do you drive a car?
Yeah.
Well, as you can see here, we cover you driving and riding in any bus, taxi, cab, or truck, or any recreational vehicle. And I think it's worth a few dollars a month to know you're covered for any conceivable accident where you're hospitalized at least for 20 hours or more. Don't you agree? And you know all these policyholders here, they feel it's better to have it and not need it, to need it and not have it, especially at this low cost. I can wait, you can wait, accidents don't wait. Look outside today. Who knows what can happen, you know? And then I say to the client, and I say, you know what? I'm not a fortune teller, but if I had a fortune ball today, and if you knew you were going to get hurt, would you buy the policy? If you knew you're going to get hurt today, would you buy the policy? It's, you know, that's a rhetorical question, but I don't have a fortune ball either. And you know what? Why am I here today? I don't know either. Will it make every sale? No. But you know what a lot of us do out there? Say the same thing to me. Say, no, I don't want to buy it.
No, I don't want to buy it.
Well, you know what? What do you want to do is fine, but hey, I'll tell you some great benefits. Why? And we go into what? Selling mode. You're going to sell yourself way out the door. Has there been once that I talked about the policy at the close when you gave me an objection? No. Got to let people think of a reason why they should purchase the insurance. And every time I did a response, what did I do with my responses? You know how all these clients here feel, and I'm always referring back to the names in the book and using the inference part in here then, so, okay. It is warm in here, isn't it? Okay. Yes. Okay. Any other objections out there?
Yeah, my client decided for the 300 per day coverage.
Yeah.
And he likes it, and I tried to. What about this 68? I was trying to think about the next time. So how about 68? I want that. So can you fill out this pre-information form? We're gonna talk about it with my wife tonight. We said, what matters today and tomorrow? But if you go out and get in an accident, you go to work, you're a construction worker.
Okay.
What is the?
And I'll just flow right in there and I go,
But
hey,
I still have to talk to my
wife. Whatever you want to do is fine,
But
but
why is there?
I'm going to show. Yeah.
Yes. What? We don't talk about it too much.
Yeah. So a lot of us probably hit that head on with a very thing like, you know, what's there to think about? Here's the benefits. What if you get hurt, right? I don't do any of that. So say the same thing. I want to talk to my wife about it. Say you want to talk to your wife.
I want to talk to my wife.
Hey, I totally agree. You know, in matters like this, you know, your wife does make good decisions too. I'm sure on things. But you know, here's just a thought. Heaven forbid, if you're to get hurt tomorrow, could you see where the benefit would be worthwhile?
I told him that too.
Yeah, and that's what you said. And you know what? I can wait. You can wait. But as I say, accidents don't wait. I don't know what's going to happen the next hour. You could go back to work and get hurt. All we do today is collect $68 for the first month. Second month, it's each month for your bank account on whatever date you want. I'm looking down on a piece of paper on whatever date you want. You can cancel it any time you want. It's not like your cell phone with those contracts, you know. You can cancel this next month, but you're covered right now. So after you've seen what you have and what we can do, would that be fine?
I had that too, and they didn't buy.
Yeah. And you're not going to sell every single person out there.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah. Very good objection. Like don't, I'm here training, but I don't do 10 presentations and I get 10 yeses. Doesn't work that way.
No.
I can look at people and go, Jeff, the policy's free. We're going to give you this insurance for your whole family free for 1 year.
Okay.
I've said that to people after they said no, and do you know what the person says? I don't want it. It doesn't matter. Some people just have their minds made up.
Yes.
I'm talking about the people that if you sat with 1 hour with a person and they haven't kicked you out of the house and haven't said no, they're on the fence. They're not saying no, they're not saying yes. You just got to draw them into a yes.
Yeah, but what I experienced that out of the 9 for the last 2 weeks, I booked 9 and 8 policies were sold.
Yep.
1 just did it. Yeah.
Well,
the first 2 weeks.
then then we don't have a problem. Okay? Yeah. If you did 10 presentations, then we would have that. Okay, I'm going to move into a couple other little tidbit items. So I'm going to check the time. Okay. Yeah, we'll go through a couple more things here. So these responses are on 3x5 cards. So every objection, like if someone wants to go, let's go here with life insurance, human nature. Like, has everybody seen the response file I'm talking about? Yes. Okay. It's in a PDF format. Print it off, study it, learn it. But when I was with the clients, my first 2, 3, 4, 5 months with the company, someone gave me an objection, I would actually pull it out. Say again that you want to think about it or something.
I will think about it.
You know what? I'm not surprised that almost everybody I sell to wants to think about it, but I have a good answer why I feel you should buy it. Let me tell you.
What? Oh, okay.
And I read it right in front of the client. And then they go, well, I still want to think about it. You know what? I got an answer for that one too. If you have any objection, I got an answer in here somewhere.
You should translate that in Filipino.
And you know what? That's something Tony and Angie could do if they want. Absolutely. But people have empathy out there. They know you're new. Read it off the card. And you can have a deck of cards to study that.
Where do you get those cards?
These cards, you can actually, the PDF file is on the Combine portal. You can actually print them off on your computer for one, cut them out. You can send the file to Staples. They'll make a set of cards for you. It's company approved. You can do whatever you want with it. Yeah. I just sent the file to Staples, said I want a set of cards. So they, yeah. And it's all there because all the Combine logos are on there. It's all set to go for you. Okay? But I'll give you a couple little ideas here. So after you make a sale, for referrals, what do you say to the client?
Do you have any other friends or colleagues in mind who might be interested or who might be needing this kind of policy?
No, I can't think of anybody.
Okay, so I'll just give you some. There's a yellow sheet of paper that we had in the sales school. So I'll just leave this to you and then, you just write down their names.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe in the future once you think of someone.
Think back to the concept we're going through. I went through names. There's names missing. People want to complete the file, right? So why not just continue it in? My training isn't rocket scientist. You probably noticed since I've started, am I showing you a whole bunch of like wows or stuff? No, it just all flows. But he's seen the names missing, so after you close the sale off, I do this, and I'll show you these in a minute. I go, you know what, Jeff, that's great. Hey, thank you very much. That really helps out because, you know, I got 9 policies to sell, and you have your pen with you? And I go, since you and your wife bought a policy there, if you could just mark them off.
Okay.
And you can mark off the last one if you want. Then I have the mark. Doesn't matter what you want. You can have smiley faces. You can have maple leaves. Whole thing is, you have a card with 6 of these filled out, 4 not done. Every time you sell somebody, they mark 2 off. Now there's 2 left. So if you mark 2 off and there's 2 left, before you even ask for referrals, how does that make you feel? You want to do what? You want to finish this card. Because there's 2 left to go. Do you think you might get more referrals? Something really simple. Might seem really stupid to some of you going, that's a crazy idea. I've used this for years. It makes you a lot of cash out there in the field then, so, okay? I'll give you another idea.
And you didn't ask for referrals, they can cross it off?
Yeah, so when I'm out there, I said, oh, you and your wife, you know, thanks for buying a policy. You and your wife bought a policy. I said, you know what, I keep track because I'm selling 9 of these policies, part of my orientation and my quota I got to do. But there's 3 more. You and your wife signed up. If you could mark off you and your wife. I got 1 more I got to do today. Who else do you recommend? But if I don't do the card, hey, thank you. Hey, you and your wife bought a policy. Thank you very much. That really helps. You know what? I got to sell 9 of these today, and I've already sold 6. You and your wife bought 1. That's 2. I only have 1 more left. Who else do you recommend? Did the same thing, verbally, but I got the client involved physically. Difference.
Is that also in the back office?
Tell you what, these are combined cards. You can go get a box. You can go buy 100 recipe cards for $3 at Walmart if you want. You know, these are, you know, it doesn't matter, just as long as you have a card.
Yeah.
And then a stamper. You have kids?
Yeah, kids. They love to stamp. Yeah.
Gold. And I'll give you one last thing here. Is I just made that sale and I go, oh, thank you, Jeff. That is great. You know what? You and your family bought it. You know, I made $640 commission. We're going to Florida in about a month, and I got to buy 4 tickets. That's going to pay for my son's ticket and my daughter's. Thank you. Would you do that in the field? No.
No.
But how could I have the client ask me about my vacation? And I stumbled on this about 10 years into the business because I always carry my goals on a card like this, weekly goals. And I have my presentations, my APV I sell. And then on the bottom, I have vacation, new car, tuition, house, whatever it is. Personalize this as much as you want. Client knows you already got a deck of cards with you in your book. So when you're filling out the paperwork, this card's on top. And I'm filling out paperwork and it just sits on the table. I don't look at it, ever. You think the client looks at it?
Yes. You'll get interested.
And the odd time, 1 out of 2 times, Jeff will go, so you're, oh, you're going on a vacation?
Yeah, you're going on vacation, where is it?
Oh, vacation. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to have that. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Yeah, we're... Now, but they ask versus me telling. And that client has what? A family. They're saving up for tuition. They're going on family trips. They have goals. And then at that time...
The next question is, how do you do that?
No, I do that first when I'm doing the paperwork. And then I go, thank you very much for purchasing the insurance. You and your wife, that helps out. Mark off 2.
Yeah.
Then I ask for referrals. Do that part first, then ask for referrals. Because they go, oh, he's saving up for tuition to send his kid to university, or they're going on a family trip. People like to help people out there, okay? Will this make or break every sale? No. Do you want to get more referrals? These 2 little tricks will help you. It will. Honest. Okay. And tell you what, I'm going to pass these 2 cards around. And you guys have cell phones. If you want to take pictures, go right ahead. I don't care. I'll flip them around. Do you like that idea?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to get into door approaches because of time. I get on to a whole bunch of things. So I go up to a business call. Here's my business call. Who wants to be a business owner? You want to be a business owner? Okay. And you can be whatever business owner you want to be. I walk in and go, hey, I'm Brent, and you are?
Yeah, Dave.
Hey, Dave, you must be the owner. Hey, you look like the owner. Hey, I'm speaking to all the business owners actually in the Calgary area. We get a lot of it. Oh, hey, I'm glad you asked. Here's some of the clients we actually have with our policies. A lot carry it for the benefits, but to be quite frank, most carry it for the free advertising. We probably show this to probably about 4,000 people on a weekly basis. You got a great business here. Now, if someone asks about your print shop, if you were a client, do you mind if we refer your business from one of our clients? It's absolutely free.
Sure.
That's one of the benefits of being a client of ours.
Are you a marketing company?
No, we're actually with financial service and in insurance here.
Oh, okay.
And then I go into the part of the presentation. So that's all I do in a business call. Hi, I'm Brent, and you are?
Dave.
Hey, Dave, I'm speaking to all the business owners in the Calgary area. A lot of snow going on. Here's some of the clients I've just that are insured or carry our coverage for its benefits here. I'll be quite honest, a lot take it for not really the benefits of what we do, but for the free advertising. We probably show it to about 4,000 people on a weekly basis. Looks like you've had your print shop here for a long, long time. If we ever got referrals from our clients about your print shop, do you mind if we give you those referrals? It's absolutely free.
Yeah.
That's all I do. It's just an icebreaker to get into the call. Because what do you think that business owner has had in the last few weeks probably, or month? Hey, I'm Brent, and you are?
Dave.
Hey, Dave, I'm with ABC Marketing. We're selling advertising in the Calgary area. Here's what it looks like. We've got a full page here. That's for $3,000, and this one's for $2,000. These are all the people that have advertised, and I can get a plan for about $5,000. How does that sound?
No.
No. But I go in and say what? Free.
Free.
I have some clients that have actually bought it not for the insurance. They bought it for the free advertising.
And so after that, you go straight into the 1922 or what?
Then at that time, I go through a few names here, and they'll say, "Oh, you're with financial services," and I say, "Yeah," and they go, "Oh, I have lots of insurance," and then I ask the business owner, I go, Are you an active owner or a passive owner? Do you work hands-on or do you have employees?
Active.
So basically, a quick question I have, if you got sick or hurt, you're going to come into work, true? But when you can't control things, if you're hospitalized away for accident or sickness, you can't control things then, you would have to cover your lost wages, true?
Yes.
Well, the good news, that's what I do here. That's why all these clients here take it to cover themselves on the job opportunity or as the business owner, and you also get some free advertising too. Takes 5 minutes. Let me show you. Then I go through the needs assessment brochure with them. Because you don't have time to fire up the iPad. That's why you need the 2 pieces of paper. So I'm with that business owner now. I'm doing this. Hey, I'll tell you a little bit about our company quickly. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, isn't that the kind of company you want to do business with? Great. You know what? I got 4 quick questions I got to ask you. Those 4 areas, what's your biggest concern? Income. I go, but hey, don't worry, I'm here to help. Now I do what? Fire up the iPad. And that all happened, what I just did there probably happened in about 90 seconds.
Do you close them right away? On the spot?
If they're willing to close, business will go, I want to think about it. I say, hey, I can wait, you can wait, accidents don't wait. And all we do today is collect the first month. It's only $28, you know, even out of your petty cash. And then after that, we can just do it monthly through your business account. Try that with a business owner. All I do today is collect $28. You can take it out of your petty cash. Then after that, we can run it through your business account. Then they can't look at me and say, I don't have the money. They all have a till. They all have a float there.
But right now, we don't accept cash, right?
Great.
True. Credit card on the new policies and that. So if you're selling electronically with the HEA application, the good part about closing it there, good point, because I always think of the old way. Then, you know, hey, all we do today is collect your banking information, and you know, and the second day from now, it'll be monthly through your business account then. So, yeah.
But best day and time that you go to
Businesses?
Yeah, business.
Between
Every day, every time.
I go 10 to 11:30 in the morning because a lot of businesses are slow, and then later in the afternoon around between 2 and 1:30 and 4 o'clock. Because 4 to 5 businesses are swamped because everybody comes in after work to do whatever they got to do. But usually the middle of the afternoon's good then. So
when you started, what was your daily method of, like, how you just go from this time Monday to Friday? Is that what you do?
I worked some established accounts with my business, but when I worked unannounced calls such as that or business-to-business calls, it was working morning calls from 10 to 12. I'd do some calls. Lunchtime I never did, and then in the afternoon we'd just be going business to business.
1 to 4, kind of like.
Yeah, 1 to 4. Right after lunch, because people in a business, they come in at lunch to do their business, then usually the afternoons are a little bit slower then, so, okay. And you're still gonna have to leave a lot of flyers and things like that. That's just part of the business. But I go in with the free advertising part. You know, I don't go in with the financial services and those sort of things, so. On Warren Market, do you sell a lot of people in their homes, like residential homes?
Yes.
Do you ever work the T system, go to the neighbor next door? Why not? Who's the most envious person that lives next door to someone? The neighbor. Who here lives in an apartment or a house? Some of you? House, apartment? Don't you ever curious what your neighbors do? I'm friggin', I got this guy, he's like 80 years old. My neighbor's name is Bob Horton, and someone comes to the door looking for Bob. I'll go, hey, I'm looking for Bob Horton. Oh, he's next door. Why do you want to see my neighbor Bob? What's going on? I love Bob, and I'm curious. And there's been a few times, it's just something that Bob has, like with his cable company or whatever, but they didn't tell me. But I go, well, yeah, come on in for a minute. Oh, he's changing his cable over the Rogers. Oh, okay, well, whatever. But I was genuinely interested. So work the T system. Everybody you see, So I go to the neighbor next door. I do the same thing. I say, hey, I'm Brent, and you are?
I'm Jeff.
Hey Jeff, I'm in the neighborhood. I was just over your neighbor George's there. He's one of our clients here. Something that they carry. You know what? I'll be quite frank. I believe it'll interest you all. So you got a few minutes of your time?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty much what I do. I go to the neighbor of the following door then. So, okay. But on business calls, it's just walk into a business saying, hi, I'm Brent, and
Dave.
You must be the manager in charge, yes?
Yeah.
And if it's not the manager in charge, the person's going to go, no, I'm not the manager. Say, oh, no, I'm not the manager. Oh, you could have fooled me. You actually look like the manager. Do you know when the manager will be back?
He's actually here.
Or else he's gone for the afternoon. Then I will sell the person that's working there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Absolutely. Because what's the worst thing to do? A presentation to a worker and the employer comes back or the boss comes back in. It's going to shut things down intensely. So when I walk into the business and I know it's not the owner, I say, oh, you must be the owner in charge?
No.
Okay. Now if there's a secretary there and you're trying to speak to the boss that's in the office behind, I go, hi, I'm Brent, is the manager in? And then when you say, well, who's asking? Do you have an appointment?
What?
Oh, I'm glad, just tell them it's Brent. It's personal in nature.
Okay.
Personal.
Personal in nature.
Personal.
Then she'll go back and say, hey, John, there's Brent's here. He said it's personal in nature. Then the manager comes out of the office and goes, who are you? Oh, I'm Brent. Hey, what a great day we're having. Then I start my presentation. Think about it. If there's a secretary there to make no salesman go to the back, what's the easiest way to do that? Yeah, my name's Brent. You know what? Yeah, what's it about? Oh, it's personal in nature. Could you just tell the manager Brent's here? And half the time they will go get the manager. I don't know. Brent's here. I don't know what he wants, but he says it's personal. Do you think that secretary is going to question if it's a personal in nature?
No.
Half of them you're going to get through. Half will not. But there's half those people you'll be able to speak to the guy in the closed office door. Because if I went to the door and said, hey, I'm Brent, and I walk in and go, is the manager in?
No.
And say, who's asking?
Yeah, was it?
Oh, could you just tell the manager that Brent's here?
What?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's better if I speak to the manager. Well, no, he doesn't take any calls, blah, blah, blah.
Of course not.
But if I go, oh, just tell him it's Brent here, it's a personal matter.
Okay.
Do you think that secretary is getting paid minimum wage is going to say no? She'll go there and say, I don't know, there's a guy named Brent. Brent, I don't know who the hell Brent. I don't know, he's there, he says it's something personal. Personal? Who are you? Hey, I'm glad you asked. You'll get the manager out of the door. Have you ever seen that door approach that way?
Yes.
Oh, you have? Okay, I wasn't sure because it works well. Okay. Any other questions from the group?
Did you ever do a telephone canvassing?
No. Everything's being door-to-door, business to business. A lot of people do different text messaging now and social media and so on. Now, I'll just take a few minutes here, kind of wrap things up, looking at time-wise. I built my business basically feet hitting the pavement, going door-to-door, business to business. Does it sound like I've gone to a lot of doors in my life?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Do I sound very confident that?
Do sound confident.
Yeah, like I have timidity and fear. Every time I go to a door of business, I'm scared. It's like, what's behind that door? Who is that? Who's in there? Oh, 30 years later, there's still the unknown factor of what is behind that door. No one likes objection. I've just immune to it because I've had people said no. But I just think of people, like I was reading, I think it's a cool story. Elon Musk, man, he just fired a friggin' rocket in that outer space, right? Very modest guy, taking risk in that. How many people do you think in the last 5 years of his life have just said no? No, we're not going to fund this money. No, this rocket will not work. No, and no. And the guy shot a friggin' car up there the other day. A lot of it is just mindset. So I guess the point I make is that any day you're not putting in activities to build your business, you're selling yourself short. If you have families and kids and so on, they're counting on you for those activities. I've had a lot of uncomfortable situations. I've had a lot of no's in that. But the numbers are the numbers. People will say yes. You just have to make the calls and you will do very, very well with the company in that. So anyway, with what I've gone through so far, I'll just ask, not everyone, but is there any key ideas that jump out that you learned today?
Yes.
I'd love to hear any of them.
Yes.
Well, no, that's all great, yes.
Thank you.
But actually, is there a specific thing from anyone? Anybody want to share that, hey, this will make a difference for me?
Yeah.
Thank you, okay. Thank you, that's a good one. Anything else today?
The physical.
The physical.
Yeah.
The nodding and pointing.
And the review after 6 months.
Yeah. And I'll go over the review every 6 months.
And then the don't worry, I'm
Don't,
to help you.
don't worry, I'm here to help. But,
Don't worry, I'm here.
but just check the thing out if I'm going to 3 plans we have. Jeff, which do you prefer?
No, that's not
Which do you prefer? But how many of you
Not
doing,
not.
how many of you doing this of the 2 plans we have? Which do you prefer?
Yes.
And you're just like a cold face.
Cold face monotonous.
The Cape Nod.
No. you should
Whole
not.
time I've been training, do you notice how whenever I want a yes answer, I'm nodding?
Yeah.
I've done it for 30, it's just a habit. If I want to get anything, you're buying something, they're going, well, I don't think I can do that for you. Come on, today, why can't you do that for me? Come on, why not, Positive reinforcement, reinforcement. Hey, I'm Brent, and you must be the manager in charge, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? McKay,
They're not.
use it all the time. All these little things are going to make your business easier out there, so, okay?
I'm just curious. Is your presentation, how long does it take for a typical?
Yeah.
No, I think it varies because, like for us, we're cultural Filipino.
Yeah.
Prospect and clients are very. I think it takes a longer time to present with them. Unlike with Caucasians and other nationalities, it's faster. We can go straight to the point.
You can spend 60 minutes, an hour. It could be a long time. So you're still going to spend the time. You got to read the client for the amount of time you're going to use. A lot of you have my number, but I will write out my cell number. Put it in your phone. And some of you have my number. If you don't, I'll just spell out my name, Brent Keilback. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. Give me a...
Just a question, out there question. Anybody here in Alberta or Calgary that can actually help with field training as far as door to door? Can show.
Is there somebody out here that can actually...
or a team that's doing it? Because really our whole system is warm market.
Yeah.
No one actually is doing, well, there's some people doing it, but they're just doing it themselves.
I know Darren Smith, who's south in the Lethbridge area.
Hi, I'm calling you Brent.
Okay, thank you. Just checking. That's good. My phone's working. He's on a lot of traditional combined insurance. There's a lady by the name of Lori Donaldson. But there's some tenured people with the company that are doing a lot of traditional door knocking and that. And Angie might be able to reach out to some of them, and what you could do, maybe even do a shadow day. If somebody's willing to drive an hour and a half, 2-hour drive to Lethbridge or somewhere and say, hey, I just want to come out for 4 hours and watch you. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of possibilities there, so okay.
So what are their names?
Lori Donaldson and Darren Smith. Darren Smith would be a really good one. And Lori and yeah, Darren Smith, he's been here almost 30 years. He's a district leader. He always wants to help train. And Lori Donaldson used to be a sales school trainer, and she's in the field now. But that's a couple great individuals there, so yeah.
Is there anybody in Red Deer that's good?
Red Deer, well, another good person is Derek Chapman, because he was from Brandon. I actually recruited Derek. I was with Derek his second week in the field, so he's done a lot in a short amount of time.
And is that's their primary way of?
No, they do a lot of warm market. They work UCDs. It's kind of a 50-50 split. I'd say a lot of them are going business to business, marketing things then. So the business card thing works very well out there. I'll give you a quick disclaimer. If you're going to use a client's business card, it has to be an owner-operator, ma and pa shop, permission to show names. It can't be like a corporation. We cannot use their business names or their business cards then. So, okay. But right now, if everybody in this room did 10 presentations in 1 week, 2 weeks, whatever, how many of those sales would you close probably, average? 2, 3, 4?
2, 3.
2? Okay, no, that's fair. It's going to be higher for some others. So all I tried to do today, hopefully, is take your closing ratio from 10 to maybe 6 now. That's it. That's all I wanted to do today. Because 2 hours, I can't change you. I can't change your scripting, your attitude. I can't change your knowledge. I cannot change none of that. So my training is generic that I can add to what you're doing. Because you're going to leave here, be honest, you'll forget half of what I said. That's how training goes. I'm the same way. I can sit in a session with I always use examples, but you know, Ray and Jerome, they come do sessions, 9-day blitz and stuff, and Angie runs awesome sessions, and all these leaders, and we implement stuff. But to be quite honest, let's call a spade sometimes. You know, we might only implement a half or a third because you can't do everything. So today, you're not going to do everything I've gone through, but please take 1 or 2 nuggets today and use it in your business. Because if you don't change anything, don't worry about my time. I get paid and I enjoy what I'm doing. But if you came here and don't change a single thing, you've wasted 2.5 hours of your life, okay? You do need to change. You do need to change something. And some of these things will be uncomfortable. Because it's not what you usually do. If you leave here and you're comfortable still, you're doing the wrong activity. Everybody should be uncomfortable a little bit after today, because that means you're trying to grow your business a little bit more. So, fair enough?
Yes.
Okay. Turn it back to you, Angie.
Can we go Brent to come again?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brent.
You're welcome.
Suggestions, everything that he is been teaching you guys, again, he is right. He can come here and spend a day with us, but if we don't implement even just any nuggets that he told us, even me, and you're tired of my voice every single week. I'm with you, ringing your ear, maybe even when you're sitting down and watching television, like you can hear my voice right there. Come on, get up. What are you doing? Okay, like you can, but the thing is, it's you. It's a between a choice. What you choose to do is totally up to you. And we are so blessed that we all have all these leaders that are coming in, and we've been pouring every experience that I've done. 30 years, I wish I have that. 30 years in this company. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be a multi. Would you agree?
Yes.
But now you're getting it, and they're giving it to us. So the suggestion that I am going to do for you guys to please record yourself. Record yourself. Don't think that you know already everything. And you come to me and say, Ate, why I'm not closing? Ate, why are they canceling? Ate, why they don't want to talk to me? Record yourself. Every time you meet someone else, just get ready with your phone, get ready to record it without showing to the person that you're talking to. And you just need to hear what you're saying on why you're not getting people. Also, those when you're doing a presentation, oh, I'm good. Like, why are you so good in the beginning and at the end you're going this and this and this? Because you're starting to be overconfident. Now you are missing the basic. Do you know why Michael Jordan made a lot of money? Because Michael Jordan, even though with all these new techniques and everything, he doesn't go towards those new techniques. He always go back to the basic of dribbling and shooting and dribbling and shooting. See what I'm saying? And that's what we're supposed to be doing. It's not because of, oh, I'm already a sales leader, I'm a leader, I'm going on for this, I am good now. And you forget the basics. Okay? And yes, you are very smart in your own way. But would you rather, would you rather learn the way people and making them money other than you just starting and trying to decide not to apply those things that they have made them money for the years that they've been already here? You know what I mean? So, throw everything away, or throw everything that we know in the garbage, and let's start all over again and implement these things that they've been teaching us. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes. Because some of you are saying, oh, I think I'm just good now because you got 17 years of experience. That's not what it is. It is what you're gonna do and adapt and make it on your own. Like, how do you know he's so good in all those things? Did you see he got a card? Yeah. Maybe even he is doing whatever, he's making dinner or everything, he's reading those cards. Because those are the things that really sharpen you, if you know, and those things that you know the answer, you get more confident. You love to get those feedbacks from the people or questions from the people. All those, like, you know, they won't intimidate you. Did you ever intimidate, can you ever intimidate him? He knows everything.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? But did he come like when he was born? No, he learned those, right? So are you ready to learn those techniques to make 6 figures this year?
Yes.
So that's the thing, right? So we need to decide to make it happen. Okay, so who's recording themselves starting now? Okay, good. Because you know what? If you are hearing your recording and you are the only one talking, and if the person is trying to say something and you cut them off right there, you can hear yourself. You can hear how crazy you are. Oh, but you can hear it on your recording. Do you know how annoying that is? You need to understand that the reason why you are in that living room is you are going there to provide the people's needs. Yakking. You are there to hear them, listen to them, and provide their needs. But if you talk too much because you're nervous, it seems that you know what's wrong with other people. That's why they can't close. They're so scared that there's gonna be a quiet. Oh my God! No, what can I say now? You're scared of quietness. Let it be, so that you will hear them. Well, how many times I gotta tell you? God has given you what? How many years?
2 years.
And 1 month. So shut your mouth and listen so that you know and how to close them. Would you agree?
Yes.
So I'm gonna hear this recording too. And when you're nervous, just be quiet. When you're nervous, just be quiet. Because when you're nervous, it's no longer your heart who's talking, your mind. And where your mind, now it's going to get pressure. Okay? And now you push the sail. Sounds good?
Yes.
Okay, who's ready to give me some recordings? For those recordings. Sounds good? I want to hear it. Because you're 100 of you guys, I cannot come to the field one or the other. Okay, one thing, last thing. Don't be shy to text me if you need help or call me if you need help. Because you're so busy. That's not your business. That's my problem. Okay, that's my problem. But if you are really going to text me or call me, I will always make time to get your message back. Always. Even how busy I am, I will give you message back. Okay, so please text me. But if you're waiting for me to call you, that will be next year. I cannot dial the phone to call you, but I can respond to your message or I can take your call if I am not in the meeting at the moment. So please don't expect me to call you. I expect you to reach out to me. And if I am busy, I'll tell you, can I please call you back? But if I am not busy, I'll take your call right away. Okay? Sounds good? So don't think that I'm busy and you're shy. You're shy, you be broke, and you be sad. So don't worry about it, just come to me. Yeah, shy, sad, you're broke. Everything in there, in one. Okay?
All negative.
Everything, all negative and everything. And if you are having trouble, don't talk to the same agent or don't talk to the other agents. You're gonna spread the cancer. Who do you talk to if you feel down?
You.
Excuse me?
Angie.
You got it? Hello? Who do you talk to when you feel down?
You.
Message me, okay? Message me. Don't talk to the other person who is the same boat like you.
Yeah.
Or else you're gonna sink the boat.
Two boats.
Two boats, not one boat. Because that's a cancer. Would you agree?
Yes.
Oh, nga, hirapan ako. Oo nga, okay na tayo. Go ahead.
Spread the bad news.
Okay? But you come to me and say, Tita, I'm having some trouble. Can you please call me Melissa? Okay. Yes?
I got a booking tomorrow at Red Deer. What happens is that I asked the client, have you heard combine? Yes, there was somebody who came here. I like it, but I don't understand it. Did you buy it? No. Can I come? Yes. So it's a missing part that some agents don't really.
Well, that's his loss, that's your win.
Yeah,
Go do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. That's what you're there for. That's what he said. I don't know, God works mysterious way. So why did he call you or you call him?
I'm going
You don't
tomorrow
know.
at 11.
Yeah. And once you go there, don't go there for one person.
I got
You
two
go
families there now.
Yes, and then after you're done with these appointments, go to the mall. Get more people. You can go back more. Okay? Because some of you, once you have a class, I have a class, and you're gone. No. Think of that thing else that you're gonna do somewhere else. Okay? Awesome. Other than that, Mikey, are you feeding us?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got some lunch for you guys. First of all, make some noise for your leader, Angie. How many people in this room are under the age of 30? Just out of curiosity. Nobody? Brent's been in the insurance industry longer than you've been alive.
Wow.
Yes.
So I said Brent has been in the insurance industry longer than you've been alive.
Yep.
Under the age of 30.
Imagine that.
So the reason why I wanted to bring that to your attention is obviously.
Please to the front.
I wanted to stay close to the chocolate. Wanted to stay close to the chocolate.
Let's give a big hand to Mike.
Yeah, and the reason why I wanted to bring that to your attention is the value proposition and what Brent's talking about. So he spent a good portion of his day here, traveling in to be able to talk to you guys about what has led him to be successful in our industry. And if he's been in this industry for longer than many of you have been alive, there must be some value there. Would we not agree?
Yes.
Right? So it's important that we took good notes, that we're in a position that anytime someone shares something with you, that you're in a position where you're at least get uncomfortable enough to try it, and not just try it once, but try it several times, because there's value behind someone that has got the experience saying this works. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Again, it's easier to go out there and duplicate something that you know works than it is to try to reinvent the wheel and create an entirely new system. Does that also make sense?
Yes.
So again, guys, when we have these types of training sessions, we're asking for you to be able to take note, take stock, review this information, but then go out there and put it into action. Nothing happens without what? Action. Action is absolutely imperative. We can sit around and we can talk all day about all of the best scripts in the world, about all of the best ways to go about prospecting, about the best way to do a business overview, about the best way to recruit somebody, about the best way to explain a needs analysis. But until you do what? Action. It doesn't mean anything to you.
Yes.
So you've got to be prepared to get out there, to get uncomfortable, and again, if you need help, that's what we're here to do. But we don't want to be in a scenario where we're saying, well, I've been reading through these notes and I think that maybe I should try it this way, or do you think you can give me some advice? Yeah, that's great, but have you tried the first way we've asked you to be able to go out there and put it into practice? Because there's value behind giving you advice on what you've experienced and where the issue might be. Does that also make sense?
Yes.
So again, guys, we want to work together as a team. It's about a collaborative effort. It's about the long-term journey that we're all on together. You see, success is a journey, not a destination. And again, we want to make sure that we understand that all of us are in that tour bus, if you will. We're in that airplane together. We're looking out at the window, and we're all seeing the same magical beauty that is this journey that we're on. But again, it's one team, one dream to make it happen. We're only as strong as our weakest link. So the longer we can come together, the more unified we become, and that's where greatness really starts to occur. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're counting on your support to finish this week off strong. Let's make some noise for Brent Keilback for today. Outside of that, let's make sure we take this journey on and we really make it a beautiful, beautiful experience together. Make sense?
Yes.
All right, guys. Upstairs we've got 6 pizzas, 6 pounds of chicken wings, 4 pounds of dry ribs, and some popcorn. Excited? That's the most noise we have. Restaurant, that's where we're going to be. So last question Brent always likes to ask. I like to ask if you guys are PMA.